Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, back with you again to finish off this lacy journal cover that I'm really loving. So I thought I'd just do it a bit at a time and show you the process as I go along. So far I've done a little bit of stitching. I've just stitched around the flower here, and I've stitched around this just to attach those. Everything else is still just pinned. So I've just got to decide which bit I do next. And I pinned that back just so that it was out of the way, and then I'll put it back into place. And that might be one of the last things I sew, because I want to do all the underneath bits first. So I'll just pin that back into position. Right. Okay, so that's in position now. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this piece of lace, because this will be the last piece to be stitched on, and that'll obviously cover up all the any raggedy bits at the sides. I think that'll be good to put just to sew on last. So I'm just going to take that off. Is there another pin? Oh, that's it. So I'll take that piece off and add that later. So I think what I need to do next is to sew round this piece, I think. So if I start up here, I'm a bit worried that this is going to separate here. So I wonder if I can just shift it across a little bit. So obviously it's now caught here. So I don't want any gaps to start developing between the edges, so I probably should have overlapped that perhaps a little bit more. So I'm going to pin it the way I'm going to sew it, because I'm going to start and sew up here, I think. So if I pin it there, and here, just to get it started. It's a bit of a stop-start and sort of adjust as you go. Oh, sorry about that. Just a little adjust as you go. So I think I'm going to just pin. I'm just going to stop here, and I'm just trying to decide whether to do a zigzag or a straight stitch here. I think possibly for round here I might just do a straight stitch going up here and see how we go. So the zigzag might just catch in the edges a bit better. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Okay, I'm going to give it a try. I might do a little bit on camera when I've got a little bit more confident that it's going to come out okay. But I think for now I'm just going to pause, do a bit, show you how it's gone, and then take it from there, I think. Okay, brief pause, and then I'll be... Okay, so I've sewn around this piece now, and there's quite a few bits sticking out the edge, which some of it I might trim. So that's all caught down. It was just starting to separate here, if you can see. It's getting a bit... It's very dim this afternoon. It's a really grey, horrible day, so I've got all my lights on, so I hope it's not too glary. So yeah, so I've sewn that down, and I've just... It's got a little bit puckered here, but I don't think it'll be a problem. And then I've just sewn it right, so I went up here, across, down, and up this bit, and then I've just also sewn across this little stretch here to attach this piece of lace down. So my next bit, I think, kind of working my way up from the back, is to do this piece. So I've pinned back the one that's going to overlay it on both sides, so this one and this one, I've pinned them back, and I'm just going to sew around this piece now. And then I'll see what else I do before I come back. I might do another little piece to show you, and then I might do a piece on camera after that if I'm feeling brave. Okay, so I'll be back again in a moment. Okay, so that next section is now sewn on. So around this piece, and then I've sewn around this, and that was catching some of these bits in as well, so that all the edges of this little piece of being caught in. So that's that. So the only thing left now to sew is this piece, which I shall probably do last, but before I do the side piece. So I think what I might do next is go down here and along the edge, and up the other side, and I'll do that on camera, because I think it should be fairly straightforward. And then it's just snipping off some of these bits I keep seeing, and then we'll see, and then it'll be this piece and the piece down the edge. All right, so let's do this. Let's be brave. Bring on my camera. Bring on my good old trusty sewing machine that seems to be coping quite well. I wasn't sure how it would be with all these thick layers, but it seems to be doing quite well, which is nice. And I'm doing it pretty much all with a zigzag stitch. I went straight stitch round the fancy bits, you know, the little flowery bits, but I'm doing a zigzag around the straight edges, just because I think it looks a bit more attractive. Right, just get it lined up. Let's see how we go. So, I mean, there is a little bit of puckering here and there, but it's not too bad, and it's all part of the, you know, part of the texture, isn't it? Let's try and... I think it's puckering too much. I'm having trouble reaching my pedals. My legs aren't quite long enough to reach the pedal here. Let's just pull it a bit towards me. I'm kind of at full stretch. Okay, turn it. I've just gone down this edge. Now we're just going to go along the edge of the bottom of the lace. And I'm just using a cream cotton, so it's not too loud. It's just, you know, you can see it, but not too much. I don't want it to be too obvious. Let's try and follow the edge of the fabric really with this. Try and keep it taut as I go. Just worried I'm going to fall off the edge of the fabric. See how I'm going on the back. Am I still... Oh, I'm still on just about. Ooh. Let's take this pin out. It's just starting to pucker a little, I think. Right, let's... Oop. Nearly at the end. Oop, didn't like that. Maybe I'll turn. Might be a thick piece there that it doesn't like too much. Let's turn it. Let's check we've caught it all. Yeah, looks like I have. Miracle. Good. Right. Last little bit. Stay flat. Okay. think that's gone all the way. Right, get my little snippers. Snippy snips. Right, let's see how that bit looks. Let's take the pins out. Done it? Yep. Okay, so obviously there's going to be a bit of trimming needing doing along the edge here, but that's fine afterwards. At least this is on pretty straight, which is pleasing. Not too puckered either. So I haven't caught this down yet, but it is caught all along the edges. So I don't know, I suppose I probably should just perhaps do a little bit of something along there. Let's just check on the other side how it's looking. There's lots of bits needing snipped, so I'll get rid of some of those. And this piece. So it's actually looking sort of quilted on the back, which is quite nice. I've never done quilting. Quilting by default. That's that end there. Oh, all these endy bits. Right. There we go. Right. How's that? Alright, so, ooh, I'm so loving this. You know when you've had something in your head for so long and you want to do it but you're afraid to get it mess it up. I know I haven't finished yet, but it is going as well as I could have hoped, I think. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. It's just it's got all that lacy feel to it that I wanted, and it's pretty, and yeah, very happy with this. Right, now this is the last piece to go on. Well, no, not quite the last, the penultimate piece, because I've got my edge piece to add, my little edgy piece of lace. So I just got to decide where I stitch it from. There's a little bit there that needs catching. Might do that after. So I think I shall start from here and go around this edge, up there and across the top, and hope it doesn't pucker too much. Just pin it into place in a couple of places. Right, pin it there, and pin it there. Right, so I might just do a little bit here and then come down here. I wonder whether to go round. It's almost with a point where you can't have too much sewing on it. And it's not very visible, which is good. Which is very good. As my sewing is not very expert, but it's not too bad. It's not turning out too bad. I'm quite pleased with this. I may have given you that impression. I think it's just because I had such high hopes for how it would turn out, and I'm almost surprised that it's actually turning out the way I planned. Right. So let's get going on this piece. So I'm going to just try and catch the edge of that little flower there where it's popping up a little bit. I might just start there. I'm getting fancy now, doing zigzag round the bend now. getting overconfident. Putting that and try and flatten it a bit. Try and avoid the pucker. So it is stretching up a little bit this way, so that's okay. Let's turn it. Where's the edge? Okay, let's turn it. So yeah, it is stretching a bit, but that's okay, it's to be expected. It makes it nice and taut, I guess. Let's just see if we can avoid too much puckering along here. I'm losing a bit of my flour, but never mind. Okay. Let's see. Let's have a look. Right. Yeah, so it's gone a little bit, it's pulled up here a little bit, but it's not too bad. And I've got a little bit of a gap here, which is a pity. And if I could stick a little something over there. Yes, it's kind of gone up a little higher there, but on the whole, let's have a look. Whoops. See how it looks folded over. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, so I've just got to put my edge on. A little bit of antique or vintage, probably vintage lace. Let's go along the edge, which will just finish it off. Snip a few more bits off. Lots of little strings. Right, so the next, before I put the, oops, it's upside down. Catching up on me. I've lost my little box, I haven't got my little box for my bits. My little rubbish box. It's mushroom carton. Okay, so I think I'll just trim down the edge first. Pins flying everywhere, because when I take them out I just sort of throw them on the desk rather than put them back in the pincushion. Okay, so I'm going to trim this along this side here, that's it, this bit here, just to tidy it up before I add the lace. And this side as well I will do. some of this lace is quite thick, like this piece. Tricky to cut through. And also I do use these scissors for paper and lace, because these are my left-handed scissors, so I think when they start getting a little bit difficult to use on, not lace, on fabric I mean, when they start getting a bit blunter, I will possibly get another pair that I'll keep just for fabric, because they work really well on fabric, but obviously I'm using for both, so they might get a bit blunt after a while. Haven't had them very long, but I've used them a lot. And I think I'm going to have to trim this across the top as well. I'm kind of reluctant to trim this bit off, but it might look a bit odd if it's sticking out and this bit's been trimmed. Don't know. I might trim just this one because it's sticking up far too much now. And see how it looks with just that. The other one just. Bring that to there. See if that looks okay, just left, because then because it's so pretty, I really don't want to trim off this last little bit. So let's see now. Have another look. It may look a little odd sticking up, I'm not sure. I'll decide near the time. I probably will trim it. But in the meantime, I'm going to, let's have a think. So if I trim it, it'll look like that. Should be okay, I think. I will trim it off. It doesn't look right. Just this bit sticking up. It's only a tiny bit anyway. That's fine. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So the last thing to do is to put my little bit of, and this has got a slight pink, very pale pink tone to it, which is rather nice because there's quite a lot of pink in the journal, and obviously there's pink on the inside cover. I will try and remember to link the Etsy shops that I bought these, some of these laces and this beautiful fabric from. This is Lulu Retro. It's the lady is Claire, who sent me this gorgeous fabric, and obviously I've still got a very big piece of it. And then this is from Lace and Linens, I think they're called, and the lady is called Roz, who I bought a lot of these lacy bits from. Not all of them, obviously, but quite a few, and I think this may have come from her, and I think this did. And maybe that's it on here, but more of her stuff will definitely be appearing throughout the journal. And let's see, don't need to stick out too far, just enough to kind of give it a little pretty edge. So I think I'll just pin that on. Is that right? Yeah. So I might have to go down both at the edge and then along the inside edge as well. Right, how's that looking? Is it looking level? More or less. Actually not quite, no. It needs to come in a little bit. I think what about right at the top, it's just travelled out a little bit. And this one. Now, how does it look? Yeah, it's about right there, I think. So I think I'm going to try, go down that way, yeah, that way, and back down, yeah. So I'm going to zigzag it up this edge, and then do straight stitch, I think, around the rest. That's the plan. Let's see how it turns out. Okay. Then I've got my pins facing the wrong way, of course, haven't I now? Oop. There we are. There. That's that one gone for Burton. And there we are. Cut you through? Not quite. Right, just check again. I've got it straight. Yeah, it looks okay. Right, let's give this a go. Oop. All right. Okay, let's just fold this up a little. I'm just going to back stitch it a little bit, not very much. I'm hoping it's keeping straight. Trying to keep everything flat. Okay, turn. Whoop. Okay, so how's that look? Not too bad. I'm going to change it to a straight stitch now. Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Hang on. Hopefully that's not pulled it too much. And turn it back. Not sure what happened there, but I think we're okay. Let's just try. Just got to make sure it doesn't fall off the edge again. Turn it again, just do the bottom. Okay, job done. Okay, right, let's pull this out. Okay. Alright, and there we have it, hopefully. Let's just take off some of these stringy bits. What's up there? Oh, pins. I've thrown them. I never seem to be able to put them back in the pin cushion as I go along. Okay, so there we have a lacy cover. Hang on. There's a couple of bits to get rid of. And there it is. I'm quite rather pleased how this has turned out. You may have got that message. Let's just trim this off here. I've been umming ahhing about this, how to do this for a couple of months probably. One of those things that sort of think about at night and think, how am I going to do this? But I think rewatching the video by Rachel really helped me to kind of decide how it would work. And I'm really, really pleased how this turned out. Now I've got one more thing I will hopefully add further down the line. It'll take a little bit of work to be able to do it, but I'll show you what I've done so far. Similarly to, well, the same idea as what I did on my friend's sewing journal. I've got the initials of the two people whose wedding it is. And I've just got these little transfer letters. I don't know if you can see that because I've just literally just ironed it on and it hasn't come out perfectly. I may have to just put a pencil mark where it should be. But it's a C and a J interlinked. And the idea is I'm going to try and embroider those and then I'll put it on here somewhere. Not sure where, might go somewhere there. So it'll be their initials on the front, which I might back with a bit of lace or something. Not sure how that's going to turn out, and that'll take me a little while to do because I'm a very slow embroiderer. But I will try and stitch that for them and put that on the front. And then there was that other little flower, which I've lost now, which I also want to put on the front as well. Goodness knows where that's ended up. But I showed it to you in the last video, the little flower. So hopefully that'll go on as well. And there'll be some sari silk or something to go around it as a closure. But this is the bit that was really keeping me awake at night, trying to think how this was going to go. So I'm chuffed to bits. I have to say, I really am with this cover. I think at the moment I'm not feeling I need to do much more with this bit of lace because it's caught down all around, and it's quite nice, that little bit of a flap there. And of course once I've sewn in the signatures that'll hold it down again in the middle. So there we are. There's my journal cover. I have no idea how long this video is. It's probably not that long, but I think it would have been too long to have it all, both parts, as one video. So you've got two shorter videos that I will run back to back. So there we are. And next time I will be looking at the signatures and we'll be starting to work on some ephemera to go in it. But I'm just going to enjoy this in the meantime. I'm going to have to stop touching it because it will start getting grubby. I need to put it in a plastic bag so that I don't make it dirty. By the time they get it, it'll all have little grubby finger marks on it. That's not good. I've got to be a good girl, not to keep touching it. But I just want to. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. And please do join me again soon for the next part of this journal. Bye for now. Hi, I've just come back in. I'll just come back onto camera because I realised as soon as I turned off the camera that I hadn't done the pockets on the inside. And I don't know if you remember, I was considering using this little piece for my pockets because it's just so pretty. But when I tried to decide which piece of this material to use as a pocket, the roses are so, or rosebuds really they are so spread out that I'd be lucky to get even one on one of the pockets, and I just thought it wouldn't really have the impact that I perhaps would like it to have. So I will be able to use it for something else, perhaps just cut round and maybe just put on a little rose on its own on something. But I had another look in my box, and I came across this piece of really pretty broderie anglais, and I thought, perfect pocket. So, ta-da! I've done it. I sewn them in. I just cut 2 pieces to size, and so they've got this lovely edge, which I thought would really look very nice in there. And I've stitched all around. I've done back and forward at the corners of each pocket to give them a nice bit of strength. Hopefully they'll be strong enough and I can just tuck things in. So I just thought that just finishes it off, and you can only sew them on at this stage, really. If I had waited, I might have had a bit more trouble if I'd already put the signature in and stuff. So I'm glad I remembered to do it. I could have stuck them in, but this makes them a lot stronger. And actually, because they're just round like that, you don't even notice, or barely notice, the stitching. There's a little bit of stitching there, but you don't really notice it too much. Hardly see it if you notice there. So yeah, so that's my pockets done. So there we are. It is now finished, apart from the extra little bits that I might add at the end. But I probably won't sew those. I may well stick the last bits on. So there we are. That's it. So thank you for joining me again, and see you soon. Bye.